unbelievable. I'm just waking up. I'm getting ready for work. Actually, I have to go to work in about 40 something minutes. Drinking coffee, getting ready, and I should have seen this coming. I should have seen this coming. As a matter of fact, I've been up for the past probably 25 minutes, and I've been just kind of going through Facebook and Instagram, seeing what people are saying about this. This is something. I mean, I'm surprised I was not talking about this in my video yesterday. So, if you don't know, um, horrible situation happened yesterday, or at least we learned that Dan Rivera, an individual who worked at the Warren Museum, unfortunately has passed away. We don't know the cause of death yet. It's just one of those things that we're just currently learning about. And I'm scrolling through Facebook this morning, and I am seeing so much shit. And I'm sorry to anybody that truly believes Annabelle is haunted, but this, the only, okay, you know what's really sad about this? I feel like the only reason why they are actually making a big deal about this is because of Annabelle. It's not because of the tragedy that is Dan Rivera passing away, but it's because he was touring with Annabelle, and they're really marketing it like that Annabelle had something to do with this. And I don't even blame people for believing this now, because look, I'm looking online and look at this really quick. Look at this shit. Connecticut, NBC. This is NBC, Connecticut. Connecticut paranormal investigator and Annabelle doll handler has died. Let's go to the New York Post. Paranormal investigator Dan Rivera dies suddenly on quote unquote Annabelle haunted doll tour. Do you kind of see what they're hinting at? I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to see what they're hinting at here. Connecticut native paranormal investigator dies suddenly. Paranormal investigator Dan Rivera dies suddenly on a quote-unquote Annabelle haunted doll tour, TMZ. People.com. Paranormal investigator dies at 54 after touring possessed, quote-unquote possessed, haunted doll, or Annabelle doll. A paranormal investigator died suddenly on Sunday night while touring the infamous and supposedly haunted Annabelle doll, his tour organizers have announced. Dan Rivera, a U.S. Army veteran, was in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania on his sold-out Devils on the Run tour when firefighters and medics were rushed to his hotel. The Evening Sunday reported CPR was performed, but Rivera, at 54, died, according to the New York England Society for Psychic Research, NSPR, where he was the lead investigator. His tour, Rivera was traveling around the U.S. with other members of NESPR to show off Annabelle, the creepy alleged demonic doll. His death came after he finished a 3-day sellout stop in Gettysburg from Friday through Sunday, hosted by Ghostly Images of Ghostly Tours, Gettysburg Tours, at the Soldiers National Orphanage, the NESPR said on Monday. Rivera, who survived by his wife Sarah and 4 children, used social media, including viral TikToks, to bring the tour to international attention. Fellow paranormal investigator Ryan Biel, paid tribute to Rivera. I have so many amazing memories with the guy. Just as recently, 2 months ago, we traveled around the country and introduced a whole new generation of Ed and Lorraine Warren's legacy. Annabelle Raggedy Ann doll was tied to the series of supposed hauntings in 1970 after being given to the Connecticut nursing student named Donna. And then they go on about the Annabelle doll. Ed and Lorraine Warren, the famous paranormal investigators, claimed the doll physically lifted its own arms, followed people around the apartment, and would display other frightening and malicious behavior. The couple also claimed Annabelle had stabbed a police officer and caused a car crash involving a priest. I have never heard this before. That's interesting. It sounds like it's straight up from the Amityville Horror, the scene where the freaking priests can't control a car. It really is. Look, now they're just making it about Annabelle. Oh my god. Now they're talking about the movie The Conjuring. Paranormal investigator Dan Rivera dies suddenly. I love how it's like getting bigger as they go to the Annabelle haunted doll tour. Paranormal investigator on his creepy haunted Annabelle doll tour in the haunted battlefield town of Gettysburg has died completely out of the blue. There could have been a reason. I wish they honestly had held off before saying completely out of the blue, because there's probably an actual reason why this is. Dan Rivera, 54, was in Pennsylvania on his Devil's Run tour, hauling the infamous doll across the country when firefighters and medics rushed to his hotel Sunday night. Adams County dispatch logs reveal a call for CPR and progress on a man matching Rivera's age. Rivera's death was confirmed by the New England Society of Psychic Research, where he was lead investigator. His exact cause of death remains unclear. Rivera, a fixture of the paranormal world, was doing what he loved, bringing spooky legends to life when tragedy hit. He built serious ghost hunting cred and a social media following off the eerie superstitions tied to Annabelle's haunted past. And again, I still stand by the guy. At least this one this page at least didn't go into the Annabelle doll history and shit and started really making it sound like Annabelle was truthfully the cause of it. Like they started saying, well, it's kind of interesting that this guy passed away because she was responsible for this. She was responsible for her car crashing and killing. No documentation. Like if there was documentation, it should have been posted, but there wasn't any documentation. It was just them saying this is, supposedly what happened. It's like, that's a pretty serious thing to say. Look at Jason Hawes' post, which I actually really respected a lot, actually. This is what he says. This was 6 hours ago. Recently, the world lost a good man. Dan Rivera was an Army veteran, a father of 4, a husband, and someone who truly cared about people. What's even harder to see right now are the posts blaming his death on things like the Annabelle doll and attacking places like ghostly images of Gettysburg Tour and other locations for having events. That needs to stop. His family shouldn't have to read this kind of nonsense while they're grieving. Yeah. Jason Hawes, a renowned ghost paranormal investigator, ghost hunter paranormal investigator, said that it's ridiculous that people are blaming the Annabelle doll for the man's death. And I 100% agree. But then I'm looking at all these news networks and I'm like, now it makes fucking sense why they're all doing that, because they're putting the fucking thought into their minds that Annabelle had something to do with this. Quote unquote Annabelle, the possessed doll. After, sudden death. Some people are using his passing to push an agenda for profit, and it's just disgusting. Yeah. That's what I fucking respect Jason for this post. I really do. This is like straight up just calling it out for what it is. This is absolutely shameful. It's shameful. But it's not surprising either. That's the sad part. I should have seen it coming. A respected paranormal investigator, and he left this world way too soon. Let's focus on remembering Dan for who he was, not turning his death into some made-up bullshit story to get clicks for attention. Honor the man. Forget the garbage. Not something I was expecting to wake up to. It's crazy. I wasn't expecting to wake up to hearing about Dan's sudden passing, but I wasn't expecting to wake up to all these fucking news outlets pushing that he had passed because of the sudden death. Annabelle handler sudden death while touring with the most possessed haunted doll. I believe there was an actual person. There was probably a very logical reasoning on why Dan had lost his life. Can we not, seriously, not try to shove Annabelle down everybody's throat saying Annabelle was the one responsible? Because that's the main one right now. Annabelle was the one responsible. It's getting conspiracy theorists fucking going nuts. Jason is 100% right. Let's focus on the fact this man had lost his life. Not because of the supernatural doll. That, in my opinion, is only supernatural because a couple of con artists said so. No documentation, no proof. Ed and Lorraine, this is why lying is such a bullshit thing. Okay? This is why Ed and Lorraine Warren, the more I find out, the more I get pissed off. Because now, instead of actually praising Dan Rivera for what he was and what he represented in the field of the paranormal, we're now associating him with the fact that Annabelle probably caused his passing. That to me is probably the most aggravating part about it. In my previous video, yes, did I mention Annabelle? Yes, I did, because I had mentioned what he did for an occupation, which was he looked after the Warren Museum, and Annabelle was one of the things he enjoyed talking about. But I was not associating Annabelle with why he has passed. So yeah, that's what I woke up to, looking at all of these posts. Saw one on Facebook, and I'm like, there ain't no way. And then, because I was shocked, because it was actually a pretty big news outlet that was talking about it and making it sound like that. And I'm like, please, be the only one. And then I looked it up, and it was almost every single one of them are making it sound like, yeah, Annabelle had something to do with it. It's actually disgraceful. And it's shameful. But this is what the paranormal is. It feels like this is what it is. People, when I made that post saying I went to the hospital, people automatically, and some were joking, obviously, but some made it sound like Annabelle had something to do with it because I was coming out here and talking mad shit about the doll. Oh my God, people. Oh my God.